seconds remaining.
Welcome back, everybody, to another day of Southeast Asian Dota action here on Beyond the Summit. This time, though, it's got a bit of a Chinese flavor. That's right, the G1 League is suddenly and unexpectedly back in business. A wild G1 League season appears absolutely out of nowhere. They've been in talks for about when to schedule this for 4 or 5 months, but the actual finalization of the dates happened in like 3 or 4 days. Then all of a sudden, I wake up, there's posts all over Ghosty Gamers. I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was coming quite this soon. It's gonna be a fantastic season. Really the first ever event outside of the international that's going to be a truly international event with North American, European competitors in the grand finals on LAN in China. Of course, there have been other events, but those were all in Dota 1. As far as Dota 2 goes, I believe this is the first truly international event. I don't really count LG International, of course, because, well, they're living and training in China for now, so obviously it's a lot easier for them to compete in these events, and in some ways they are much more, they have much more of a Chinese flavor than some of the truly Western teams. So with that being said, who do we have here? Before we really dive into it, I want to show the bracket real quickly for you guys. So let's see if we can bring that up. It is a 32-team bracket. And basically the way this is going to work is the bracket narrows down until there are 8 teams out of those original 32 remaining. Then they move on to play basically a round of 16 with 8 teams that were invited. That's called Phase 2. What we're in right now is called Phase 1 with the 32 teams. And then from there, the 8 that we're going to get from this set of 32, plus the other 8 that were already invited, which includes teams like LGD International and some of sort of the mid-tier Asian teams aside from them. From those, we'll narrow it down to 4, and then, or, is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, we narrow it down to 4, then there's 4 that qualify automatically for Stage 3 for the main event, and then from all 8 of those teams, it comes down to a total of 4, I believe, and then there's 2 North American European teams, so there's going to be 6 teams at the LAN finals. I know that sounds really confusing. I will try to get a diagram that explains it better for you guys later on today, but for now, it's the best that I could do. So actually, where the hell are my brackets? It's going to drive me insane not being able to show you guys. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So for anybody who's wondering, we are currently casting, I hope you guys can read this. I can barely even myself. MSIevoGT versus the new TNC Gaming. It's an interesting situation because it's actually MSIevoGT TNC. Both of these teams, of course, are Pinoy teams. It used to be TNC Gaming. That's what cast, as well as Jesse Vash, the first 2 players in the MSI roster. They both played for this TNC Gaming team, but then TNC sort of merged with MSIevoGT. Then it became MSIevoGT TNC. Then 2 members of MSIevoGT left the team, and so now it's a bit, actually 2 left, and I think they have 1 extra stand-in today. So right now, I don't even know if they have a full 5-man roster, but all sorts of changes. Chemo and Iwi, stalwarts in the MSIevoGT team for a long time in Dota 1, are now gone, sad to say, so they won't be in this match. The new TNC Gaming, I recognize Bonjourlay. He was in the old TNC roster, but the rest of them, at least with their current names, I do not recognize them. So anyway, with that being said, back to the draft. We'll have to see how this game develops, but the Pinoy teams, they're starting to adapt to the ways of Dota 2. We're not seeing them pick heroes like Windrunner, Puck as first picks anymore, you know, in those first 3 selections. They're favoring heroes more that are popular in general in the metagame. Heroes like the Lifestealer, the Magnetar. Now, we did see these here and there in Dota 1, even 6-7 months ago, but they were not sort of the go-to picks, whereas nowadays, you could just see how basically the scenes are blending together and a lot of overlap across the board. So, yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see some pub-style killing for whoever that was. Let me see. Who was that in the chat, actually? Pub-style killing. Damn it. I minimized my chat, and all of a sudden I couldn't find it anymore. Oh, boy. I'm a bit frazzled right now, guys. I do apologize. I actually thought this was starting in 30 minutes from now, but I actually... I originally was supposed to start 2 hours earlier than that, so it's like an hour and a half after the scheduled start time. Some of the matches are running a bit late.
5 seconds
and we'll just have to see how things go, but don't worry, I'll get into the swing of things. Just need, basically, to get some good Dota action in front of me, and then, it's like you put some candy in front of a fat kid, and he's just gonna eat it. He knows what to do. Luminous and Gods, I should mention, are casting here as well. Well, actually, Lumi's just coming to... Hello. He's here. He's saying hi. He'll be casting the GEST Challenge with Gods later today. I think that starts in 5.5 hours, and that should be a doozy. Vici Gaming, LGD International, MUFC, and Orange. double elimination, best out of 3 for every match. You guys are in for a treat.
I need to find a computer first.
Yeah. Have you tried Kevin's?
There's no keyboard and mouse.
Oh, we have extra keyboards and mouse.
It's like a dry skeleton. I need to find some.
Ask Gods to help you after he's done his current match. So yeah, Lumi's getting set up right now. Purge, of course, is at MLG in Dallas. He is once again on a wonderful vacation. Funny how he gets to take so many of those, but I don't envy him one bit because I'm happy to be right here casting my Asia Dota. So anyway, I'll talk about the draft now. All sorts of interruptions, all sorts of fiascos along the way. But let's just dive into the draft. So we see MSI TNC actually goes for the mag right off the bat. That was their first pick. They had first pick overall in the draft. And surprisingly a little bit, TNC did not respond with the Rubik. The Rubik is a really common way to counter mag. Obviously... this is something that Slesh talked about, which I had not thought about before, but makes a good point is, I mean, I sort of noticed it, but never really put it into words. But obviously, when you skewer in, you're very easy to disrupt that with the telekinesis lift. And aside from that, something we've seen all the time is that RP is a relatively easy ultimate to steal as far as they go. A lot easier than something like Ravage and doesn't require you necessarily to have a Blink Dagger. So Rubik, a pretty common way to respond to the mag. They do still get the Life Stealer, who obviously is very tanky and durable even against a hero like Magnus. So a strong opening. I would favor MSI TNC a little bit just in terms of basically the number of ways they have to approach this game. They have strong team fight. There is a Phantom Lancer in the pool. We could see that maybe as the choice, albeit not with the Keeper of the Light by his side, as TNC, of course, did ban that out, along with the Wisp, which is an unusual ban in the Southeast Asian scene. But actually, I think Wisp would be incredibly strong in Pinoy Dota, because Pinoys are aggressive, a little bit sloppy from time to time, and that is where a Wisp can really shine. So I think the Wisp ban in Pinoy Dota is absolutely a legit top-tier hero that should be banned out.
Dire team back.
As long as the teams practice a little bit with the Wisp, just because it fits in very well with their balls-to-the-wall style of play. But obviously, TNC still gets some very strong heroes of their own. The Lone Druid Lifestealer combo, I talk about this all the time, but basically you have two very difficult-to-kill carries who can split push, who can team fight, who can 5-man. They're two of the most versatile carries in the game. And the beauty of them is that you can lane them however you want. Lone Druid can solo mid, he can solo the off lane, he can take the safe lane farm. Lifestealer can aggressive tri-lane, he can even solo the off lane, although he's not really the best at it. Sometimes you can even run him dual lane mid, so the versatility of these two carries makes it very difficult for TNC to plan out how they're going to look to respond to these lanes. They go for the Queen of Pain and the Mag, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with their mag, because TNC, the last few times that I've cast them when they have Magnetor, they play him as their offlane. It's normally in the hands of Jesse Vash, and the issue is you can't really play mag as an offlane nowadays unless he gets a relatively easy 1v1 matchup. The reason being, mid pulls are incredibly unreliable. We saw it yesterday, like 3 or 4 times. Myth Trust were trying to mid pull. It was Abba, I think, playing the mag, I want to say, and he was actually not taking the mid lane, or maybe it wasn't Abba, maybe it was somebody else, but it just couldn't do it. He kept on missing the pulls. It's very difficult to get those mid pulls off nowadays. So we'll see what they look to do with this mag as far as the lanes go. They could maybe go aggressive tri-lane just because they do have 2 ranged heroes and a Luna. Obviously, the R is going to be strong there, but the issue is it's a squishy tri-lane, and Lifestealer generally is going to murder a tri-lane with a Luna, especially if the Luna tri-lane is the aggressive one. So for TNC, I imagine we're going to see Mag trying to stack Ancients, maybe do some mid pulls, and
10 seconds remaining.
a safe lane Luna. Rubik probably going to be supporting that Luna, and then of course Queen of Pain
5 seconds remaining.
to head towards the middle lane. I also want to mention for anybody who is just tuning in, that I highly encourage you all to go watch the tournament on the official G1 League English website. You can actually watch the stream there now. I'm looking at it, and it is working. It's a very simple link. It's just g1.2p.com. And the reason that it's good to watch there is it supports the organizers and the sponsors. And basically what the G1 League and 17173.com can do is say, hey, we have a lot of traffic through our website directly related to this tournament. We want to increase the prize pool for next season. We want to invite more North American, European teams. We want to run a bigger, more spectacular event. So by watching on their website, you are directly supporting the organizers. And they also have some useful content. There's really not that many ads or anything like that on the site. Lots of links to tournament coverage below the site. It's still a work in progress, but again, that website is g1.2p.com. So if you don't mind, go watch there. It'll help them, and it'll also help us, because the more people we could say are watching our stream on their site, the more likely we're going to be able to cover their events in the future. And of course, for those events to be even better. So TNC goes back for the Jakiro, a strong defensive support. And the CM, the final choice. Interesting choice with this CM. She is food for Lifestealer. She is, I mean, there's just nothing that she could do against him. You Frostbite him, he rages out of it. And of course, she's slow, she's squishy. She can be strong at aggressive tri-lanes, but I'm not really feeling the pick this game. Frostbite is a decent jungling ability, of course, as you can kill big creeps quite early on, because Frostbite lasts freaking forever on them. I don't exactly remember how long it is, but it's like 5 or 10 times how long it does on a hero.
5 seconds remaining.
So maybe they have some sort of a plan where the CM's going to jungle farm, but there are other supports that have AoE. That would be a bit better for that. And TNC rounds out their lineup with a silencer. Oh boy. And it looks like it's going to be a solo silencer. Thank the stars. I'm excited for this one, guys. This should be a real treat. Oh, and I just realized I'm missing one of my logos. Let me see if I can get that sorted out right now. By the way, did I mention that I hate support silencer? I really hate support silencer. I've never seen it work. I actually have never seen it work. And I've cast a lot of support silencer games. Alright, let's see. Oh, that's not it. Why am I not seeing this logo? Oh boy, guys, it's not my day. I just got sent. Max just sent us a just sent me a logo, and within like 5 minutes, I've managed to misplace it. All right, thank you, Max. You're the man. 17173 logo. All right, let's see. Oh, but this one has a white background. Max, you slacking. That's okay. We'll roll with it for now. Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. All right, we should be good to go. Okay, everybody. Welcome back to the game. Sorry about all the issues. Again, I was actually misinformed about when the game started, so kind of putting the overlays together last minute. My apologies for that. But look, quickly, let's introduce the teams. It is going to be an all-Pinoy smackdown, as we are currently in the G1 League. The Phase 1... basically phase 1 of the tournament. So 32 teams enter phase 1, only 8 will leave. 2 Pinoy teams here, 1 is going home. TNC Gaming, a new roster for them, a new day for this team. Playing against MSIevoGT TNC, the old TNC. Let's see who's the top TNC in this match. Imba, just like Boss Emer. I have no idea who that is. Playing the Silencer. Hi on the Lone Druid, heading to the offlane. Tushi on the Shadow Demon, heading safe lane. It's going to be a defensive tri-lane with Bonjour Lay. And yes, this guy was on TNC before they moved over to MSI. So a bit of a, maybe a grudge match for him on the Lifesteal. We'll call it a grudge match, even if it's not. And not last but not least, Aaron playing the Jakiro. He will be supporting that tri-lane. Does have a smoke, although if you look at the supports for this TNC squad, I mean, a Jakiro Shadow Demon is a decent roaming combo, but they are light on damage, to put it mildly. So it's going to be the Magnus. This is actually Jesse Vash, and it looks like he will be trying to jungle. He's going to do some mid pulls. He's clearing the trees, but he's late to do so. He will get them just before the creep spawn, however. Let's see if he can get his mid pulls going. But again, it is very difficult. Jesse Vash on the mag. Down to the bottom lane. Cast, the captain of TNC. No more chemo at his side as that second captain, or that second former captain anyway. It's just going to be all up to Cast here, basically, and Lone Druid off the bat doing some pulls with the bear. No Frostbite in CM, which is definitely a better spell versus that Lone Druid bear at level 1, but went for the Nova, which is a bit better for finding a kill at level 1, but realistically you're not going to, so not sure I like that skill choice level 1, no big deal, but Miel on that Crystal Maid. Last but not least, it is Jardel on the Luna, so who's going to prevail? The mid pulls from Jesse Vash, successful. It is really difficult to get the timing right. I've seen a lot of pros mess it up, even from top teams, but so far, so good for Jesse Vash. Only gets 1 creep for that second pull, and, well, that second pull isn't any harder. It's just the first one that's really difficult. So still, he's denying some experience mid. And we look at the matchups now. Silencer mid versus Aquita Pain. Not the worst matchup for Aquita Pain, but Silencer actually is going to have the edge. Aquita Pain beats almost everyone. Sicko's really manning up. Needs to blink away. She does have Blink, which is very low mana cost, so even if he goes for Curse, which you don't often see on the solos, but sometimes just 1 point could be pretty decent. The Curse last word combo is very strong. Actually, this might be our first blood. Sicko's blinking in. No, not gonna go. He had it. A Blink auto attack Shadow Strike would have been the kill, but did not want to trade his life away. So plays it safe, forces the salve outs from Silencer. Oh, jeez. So that solo Silencer doing pretty well so far in the lane. Sitting at 4 and 2. Not as good as he should be, though. Silencer should actually have the edge against Queen of Pain early on, in my opinion. Later on, it gets more difficult, but Last Word and Glaives are so good even at level 1, and he is manning up now. You can just see how annoying it is to lane against the like Silencer. Just a couple of nukes. Last Word just does absolutely ridiculous damage. Skewer from Jesse Vash drives. Oh no. Oh no. Drives them. Actually, it's going to work out. Where's the disruption there? Tushy and Viz doesn't want to reveal himself, but it's obvious the smoke gank is here. So a completely wasted opportunity. Not even a smoke gank, excuse me. Just a two-man roam with an Invis Shadow Demon. Totally wasted opportunity, though. So Hi continues to get lots of experience off the offlane. You compare that to Jesse Vash right now. How are they comparing? Lone Druid and Jesse Vash are even. The difference is, though, he's about to farm a full creep wave, so he's going to start to pull ahead. He's getting more out of this offlane than what the mag is getting just from the mid pulls and the mid stacks. Can catch up later with some good shockwave farm. We will see. Disruption, going to catch out that Queen of Page. He has Blink, needs to drop it, will do so. And meanwhile, Silencer almost dying, giving a lot of support to him, and Shockwave is not going to cancel the salve. Nice dodge there. But just like able to sort of juke away, but Bonjourlay getting free farm. That's going to be the trade for TNC. So their lifesteal is getting free farm in exchange for the Luna, who is having some pressure in the lane, just trying to last hit against the Lone Druid. Makes life more difficult. And because the mag's mid-pulling, that means they only have 2 heroes bottom right now. As CM is also rotated over. So unfortunately, they're not keeping the Lone Druid out of lane. And now let's see how good of a job is Hi going to do rotating that bear. He's getting things out so far. Pretty good. Cass doing a lot of pulls of his own. Very slow defensive play. This is not your old school Pinoy Dota. This is the modern age where they actually farm and play defensively. Now Jesse Vash going to rotate top, getting quite a bit of experience. So the lane not being controlled the best. Now it'll be pulled back, but the economic damage is already done. As he's going to hit level 3 off of that. He's got his boots just about now if he wants, or that bottle. Meanwhile, stacking, pulling. This was just cleared. Pretty much everything being stacked and pulled. Frostbite as well as Nova being used on the bear, but they just don't have quite enough to bring this bear down, and it's keeping the creep wave back. Now it's being returned. So slowly but surely, this lane likely to push again. Mag and Lone Druid pretty much neck and neck. That Lifestealer pushing the lane really hurts them, because they could have had the edge easily in experience, but unfortunately not able to do so. So a bit of a misplay there from TNC. Not controlling that empty lane properly. Not the worst thing in the world, but just something that you can play a little bit more efficiently. That's a hasted Silencer. Queen of Pain even thinking about maybe going in for a Blink Scream Shadow Strike. Not going to be quite enough for the kill, but can do a lot of harassment. Here comes the smoke gank. They already went for the Invis Rune gank earlier. There's no ward, or there's a ward top rather, but there's no vision of this Queen of Pain is what I mean to say. And they can look to go now. Tushy's just about in range for that disruption. Now is not a good time because now the lane's pushing. He's going to have to wait. The issue is that smoke's about to wear off. They got to go right now. There's your disruption. Will be an ice path to follow, as well as the dual breath. Catches Sicko, drops him low, but just not enough to bring him down. In comes the mag, the skewer. A bit of a short range skewer there. Not going to actually catch anyone out. And this is what I was discussing earlier, is Shadow Demon and Twin-Headed Dragon as a dual roaming pair, they don't have damage. They just don't have the ability to find kills on a Blinker like Queen of Pain. If this was Alina and a Shadow Demon, for example, they probably could get the kill there. They have more disable, of course, as that Light Strike Array lasts longer than Ice Path early on. And more importantly, they have a lot more damage. Dual Breath is a decent nuke, but it's not an amazing one. You can blink away quickly through that, and just lacking burst for this mid-silencer, unfortunately. That's 2 gank attempts now. 0 kills. Sicko trying to run away, just continuously. The mid pulls being attempted by Jesse Vash. Only sitting level 3. The Lone Druid is pulling a bit ahead from him. Actually, no, he's not. He should be, but they're doing a nice job of disrupting the bear. I think we've seen a Frostbitten Nova like 5 or 6 times this game's already. He should be able to pull the creep wave back if he wants, get that double wave going. It looks like that's what he'll do. The lane is going to start to push. Of course, you can see Cast wrapping around. Looking for the backstab. Has that level 3 Fade Bolt. Oh boy, here we go. Starting with the lift, throwing him back into the Luna. Now the nuke. Easiest first blood of MSI's life. Cast was patient, and this lone druid playing in the dark right after the 6-minute mark. The perfect time to set up a gank like that. Normally you can scout things out with the bear, but in this case, they saw it was pulling the lane. They knew it wasn't there to scout, and the backstab did come through. That's going to slow this lone druid down. Lifestealer free farming away. Did go for a Midas. He's had it, I think, for at least... Well, let's see. He's used it once, so 90 seconds or so. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, last word. This is probably the most annoying ability in the game to lane against right now. Just such a pain in the ass. Sicko's going to blink and scream. The good news is he can Bottle Crow, and he can Rune Control. I'm still not really seeing the Jakiro pick paying off for this team. It feels like something else, like a Lita, like Leshrac might have been better. I think the Lita was actually banned, but I believe Leshrac was there. Honestly can't remember. I was trying to sort through all the overlays during the draft. But, yeah, this twin-headed dragon showing his weakness as a support just doesn't have the damage to find kills. They do have Global Silence, and now the question is going to be, can they make something happen with it? Mag's going to rotate towards mid for the Dire side. Silence only has 1 ward. It's not going to protect him from this Mag coming through the top. Now a Hill Ward deployed. Actually on their own hill, blinking in. There's your Global Silence. Uh-oh. What can they do with this, though? Did they just blow it for nothing? That is a huge spell to just throw away. But I love and I hate how it actually silences the caster, but couldn't even hear what was going on there. 8-minute rune's about to spawn. So Global Silence down the drain. By the way, guys, this is almost as long of a cooldown as Black Hole at level 1. It's actually at all levels. It's 140 seconds. Then comes the Queen of Pain. There's your kill. Easy for Sicko. Blinks in, screams, and that Global Silence, well, not available. Nothing he could do there. The Silencer pick, a strong solo mid, but did not really dominate the lane, and now paying for it. They're looking for the backstab. Mid, here comes the wraparound right now. Sicko has that level 4 scream. He can melt the Shadow Demon down. A lift to start, a Fable to follow, and down he will go. It was thrown back, but he disrupted himself. Doesn't matter. Shockwave gonna slice his brains out. They spew onto the pavement. In comes the TP mid, but Silencer probably TP'ing into his own demise. Gets actually pushed into the Roche pit. I think that may help him slightly as the Crystal Maid, he can't get in rage. Doesn't matter. Bottles up. Should fall. There's a blink in a few seconds time. Sicko's on the hunt. This should be a kill unless he gets juked. He's actually gonna back. Then comes the backstab for the Jakiro. Are they really turning this fight around? Is that Silencer really living? What a clowny start to this game. Aaron gonna drop. Now the Shadow Demon in trouble. Suddenly 10 heroes bottom rune and Eclipse. Perfect for this situation, but not a good time to Eclipse. Eclipse is well on the low ground. The Lone Druid just laughs his way to the bank. Can resummon that bear, or not resummon, but pull it back. Well, he'll pay for that. The Eclipse is down. The Silence was wasted. The ultimate's not really being used effectively this game. And all the while, Lifestealer farming away. Went for that early Midas. Had it about that 5.5-minute mark. Maybe 5 minutes or so. And now he's infesting creeps. He's getting really far ahead, and they're not punishing him. They still don't have RP. I'm just not convinced about this offlane Magnus nowadays, with the mid pull being so difficult. With Mag having the lower range skewer, it's really hard to actually get farm and levels when you have heroes like Queen of Pain who you just know are going to take the mid lane. And I really need to tell Valve that this setting refreshes every game, because it's such an awesome feature, but yeah, Smooth Drag and Spectate. If you're an aspiring caster, I highly recommend this feature. It could actually make your camera control look good, even if it's not. So, a word to the wise. Bonjour lane now going for Armlet, went for the treads. Just getting a little extra survivability since he got Midas, which obviously gives you no survivability whatsoever. It's going to be that hard carry for them this game. The Lone Druid has been shut down very hard, only level 4. But remember, they do have the 2 strong physical damage late game carries. So I would not count TNC out. Actually, first time to take a look at the gold graph this game. Latest I've done it in a while, but 500 gold lead for the Radiant. About 1,000 experience lead, 1,500 maybe. Not a big deal. The Mag heading towards top lane, just continue to keep the waves pushed out. So sort of taking a look at the state of the game. The first Global Silence was completely wasted. It is now back online. But the issue is, what can you actually do with this offensively to find kills? Can you really burst a hero like Luna or Mag down before that Global Silence ends? If you can't, they're just going to RP or Eclipse. And as I look at TNC's lineup, they don't really have burst. I mentioned the supports are lacking in damage, especially when Shadow Demon maxes Shadow Poison, which for quick burst is not a good spell. Yes, over prolonged engagements it is. We'll talk more about the matchup later, because in comes Cast, middle lane. Silencer has the global. No point in using it. He's dead. He dead. He very dead. And still the supports for TNC feeling a bit baffled, not really sure what to do at this point in the game. The mid silencer, just like a Shadow Fiend, just like a lot of those other strong damage output but low survivability heroes, very easy to gank, doesn't have an escape mechanism. And the issue is, unlike the Shadow Fiend, he can't flash farm. He can't catch up if he has a slow start. So the silencer now sitting at 2.2k net worth, those early ganks hurting him, the early pressure hurting him, and just getting outplayed, to be totally honest, by the Queen of Pain. Seko, what was winning this lane in advance? Uh-oh, my bad. Missed the kill top lane. They do get the Lifestealer. RP was used for that, of course, but completely worth it. Good news for Lifestealer, Midas is on cooldown. So the economic damage towards him is a bit limited, but still a crucial kill. With the RP on cooldown, TNC would love to get aggressive. They have that global silence, but again, how does this team get aggressive? Lifestealer is really their only hero that can jump into a fight. The Lone Druid could later on, perhaps, but not now. He's got Tranquil Boots and an Orb of Venom. Not even Boots on the Bear. This is one of the poorest Lone Druids I have ever seen. Meanwhile, the Luna getting close to a BKB. Once they have the BKB on the Luna, say the RP back online, they already have level 8 on the Rubik. Cast has been quite efficient for his team this game. If we actually compare the support levels, I talked about their damage output, their efficiency, and we see it reflected in the levels. 6 on the CM, 8 on the Rubik, and only 5 and 5 on the Shadow Demon and the Twin-Headed Dragon. And Shadow Demon and Twin-Headed Dragon are decent at farming creeps. In fact, not about as good as the Crystal Maiden Rubik. It's pretty even. Both sides have pretty strong AoEs, so it's just been the movement of TNC supports. They came mid early on. They didn't really accomplish much there. They kept the Silencer alive, but that's a 1v1 matchup. Your solo should not need 2 supports just to keep him alive. If he does, you've done something wrong with the way you've constructed your lanes in your draft. And now the Ogre, or the Mithril Hammer will come out. The Ogre Mithril Hammer. It's a new item. Only costs 1,600. You get both for the price of 1. Bonjour Lay. Helm of Iron will out. I assume the Armlet is on the way. In fact, the Armlet is out. This is a big opening for them. With the Armlet, if they can global silence, maybe you just start with the Soul Catcher, Disruption, Queen of Pain, and then immediately after that, Open Wounds her while the silence is there, and Ice Path. You can burst her down. Can they burst down multiple cores? And what are they going to do once Luna gets BKB? In theory, you have Demonic Purge. In theory, you have Entangle, but your Lone Druid has no items. Your Bear doesn't even have boots, so Entangle's not really a threat. Demonic Purge isn't even out yet, and even once it is, it's not doing damage to the Luna, it's just slowing her down. So I think it's going to be that window for MSI to really start forcing the fights. The one thing they're lacking is the blink on the mag, but even that's coming soon. They are about to have all their crucial 5-man items. Here we go mid. It is going to be that combo. The global silence, though, not enough in the end. In comes the RP. Not going to be there. There's the Skewer back into the tower. The Queen of Pain ult is good. That's 2 kills. Now Cast charges in, but this Angry Lifestealer is just going to maul him into submission. Down he will go. Bonjour Lay once more. Can he find Sicko? He doesn't have open wounds, so there's really no way to get the kill. They are severely lacking on the lockdown, but Global Silence was blown in that fight. 25 seconds into its cooldown now. They didn't even fight with the Luna, who's got her BKB and about 75 gold. Call it a big win for MSI. TNC, once again, the Global Silence, just as strong as it can be in theory as an ultimate. It doesn't do damage. It doesn't secure you kills directly. It needs the support of a lot of basically burst damage and lockdown from the rest of your team, and it just isn't there right now for TNC. I really feel like it's this Twin-Headed Dragon as a hero that just, it doesn't do enough. Imagine if that's something like Alina. They could have easily burst down the Queen of Pain. As he's level 6, the Laguna Blade there, she is flat out dead. But Twin-Headed Dragon, a great AoE here, a great team fight support. But when you have this lineup that's more built around single target, it just doesn't seem like the ideal fit. They're going to back off now. Queen of Pain probably going for BKB. If you want the Ags, Jardel, that would be our Luna. So Luna has his BKB. Normally start with the point booster if you actually want the Ags and Queen of Pain. We'll see. Could be a BKB. Could be an Aghanim's as well. Luna manning up on a Lone Druid. That's something you would never see if they were even remotely even on farm. But Luna City at 6k right now. Leicester is still the most farmed here on the map, but later on in this game, they have the RP for the mag. And they have a Luna with 4 ranged heroes. So they're going to have damage to kill this Lifestealer for quite a while. Maybe not instantly, but everybody on this team's going to hurt. Here's your smoke. The blink is up on the mag. Skewer's in the silencer, and that's just a dead Lifestealer. He will be disrupted. No way, he should get out. There's still Rubik Lift. They're not using it yet. Now they throw him back a little bit late, but an additional shockwave, a blink in and a scream. That'll be the kill. Queen of Pain suddenly in the middle, 4 heroes, and in fact, she's manning up. There's your RP. Didn't actually use it earlier, just used the Skewer. The Lifestealer going to work now on the Luna. The Eclipse was thrown down as well. Bonjour Lay in all sorts of trouble. once that rage wears off, what's he gonna do? They have the damage. He doesn't have Infest. He can armlet toggle and maybe live through this. The skewer's gonna miss. A nice first armlet toggle actually will be enough to keep him alive. Rubik needs to remove this tower aggro, but Queen of Pain jumps in, looking for the kill, finds it. The armlet toggle off at the wrong moment there. Spells doom for the lifestealer. And that's just the power of the Blink Dagger Mag, is you don't actually have to use RP to find kills. You can just blink in, skewer one hero away, isolate them from the rest of the engagement, and there just wasn't much they could do. Now they do have Global Silence, but TNC, just no good counter-initiate for them. They have that disruption, but as far as team-wide counter-initiation, they don't have anything like a Panda Ultimate or Ravage, and it's being punished by MSI, who are now taking the fight to them with Eclipse, with the BKB on the Luna. Taking a look at the gold graph now, it is spiking heavily in favor of MSI. They are more experienced with their roster as a whole. I believe has been played Dota 2 for longer, at least with names that I recognize. So, showing a bit of that experience in this matchup. Doing pretty well at that. They have the BKB on the Luna, they have the BKB on the Queen of Pain, double BKB, and TNC has no answer for this. Lifestealer can try and auto-tech you, maybe if he gets a basher, but Demonic Purge, not a solution. Not going to give you any damage, of course, through that BKB, and without it, Luna as well as the Queen of Pain could simply hold their BKBs until the Global Silence comes out, then pop them and just drop Eclipse, drop your Sonic Wave, your Scream of Pain, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing that TNC can do about it. What they really need to do right now is basically just bait the Queen of Pain into a bad engagement, kind of sit behind their carries, hope for a mistake from MSI. But it's going to be hard for a mistake, and she's got that get out of jail free card. They'll start with the disruption, the Soul Catcher as well. And, well, BKBs immediately throws in the ult, man's on up, and look at it, just no damage, no way to kill her. She does blink into the lifesteal. That may be trouble for her. No, even that not gonna matter. RP for the mag, catches two, skewers them back, they're gonna melt, that's 3 dead. Lifesteal trying to fight his way out of this, trying to get some kills for his team, but it's just not gonna happen. He will infest, he will back off. Lone Druid, all the while trying to catch up. What is he gonna go for? He's got boots on the bear, he's got 1,000 gold on his hero, but nothing going TNC's way. When you send a hero like Silencer mid, he's just got to dominate his lane because he does not bring as much to the fights as other solo mids. He doesn't provide the damage of heroes like Shadow Fiend or Queen of Pain. He doesn't provide the team fight control of a hero like Panda. What he provides is a potentially game-breaking ult if you have the right caster on him, and more importantly, really good 1v1 lane control, but we just didn't see it this game, and now TNC is in a world of trouble. MSI continue to farm up in the jungle here. Just accruing the next set of items. If they want, they can wait for the Luna Manta, the Queen of Pain Hex, or Orchid. Orchid would be quite good this game, as nobody is going to be building a BKB anytime soon. And it's great against Lifestealer, of course, so he cannot rage. So I think the Orchid for the Queen of Pain, maybe work towards a Refresher Orb for the Mag, or most likely I think a Force Staff would be better, because it's something that will let them fight now, but those items... that's pretty much it. They could just start fighting. They're waiting behind the Luna. Lifestealer is going to get... uh-oh. Frostbitten to start. He doesn't have Infest. If they know that, they can look to go on him. There is a Blink, but there's no RP. Will there be a Blink Skewer? Not even going to be attempted. Still, they're pressuring that top lane. Randomly, music. Music! I have no idea why, but there is definitely music, and this tower is going to melt. Smart from TNC. They can't take head-on fights. They're going to go for a trade, as RP is available right now, and Luna now has her Yasha. But MSI is not going to allow them to take this for free. There's your mag. Blinks it. Catches basically the entire enemy team. 3 heroes and the Lone Druid Bear. And then Sicko says, thank you, sir. I'll do the rest. Gets 2. Luna clips on the back lines. On to Tushy. Tushy running. Tushy dead. 1 more hit. Brings him down. And now the Lone Druid on the run. This is going to be essentially a team wipe. Triple for the Queen of Pain. Sicko is playing sick. And that's 11-0 and 8. Just a filthy performance so far from MSI, who are absolutely manhandling their old namesake, TNC Gaming. I knew one thing was for sure. Someone's going to get Olots, but it looks right now like it's going to be Olots for TNC Gaming. MSI TNC, well, they're moving on from the looks of things. I just don't see TNC coming back. This Lifestealer needs a Basher, needs an Abyssal Blade, maybe needs 1 more damage item to have any shot of bursting these heroes down, and may just die inside of RP anyway once Luna gets that Manta style. It is not looking good for them. Of course, guys, this is just the start of what will be a very long night for me, and probably a very long day for many of you, if you're over in Europe, if you're over in Asia. If you're in the US, well, you should probably get some coffee, because it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast, it's 12 a.m. here, and we have 8 to 10 hours of action coming up later today. First is going to be the G1 League qualifiers. We will follow the brackets down until there are only 8 teams left. So we start with 32. We're going to whittle it down to 8 with single elimination matches the whole way. We may do best out of... I think they're all going to be best out of 1. I'll double check with the admin, Tusky Atri. Huge shout out to him. He's been doing a fantastic job organizing this event on very, very short notice. Like, only really 4 or 5 days, maybe a week at most, where it was absolutely confirmed. And that's a lot to ask, but... doing a great job organizing it so far, and once we get down to those 8 teams, we'll move on to Phase 2. So these 8 teams that qualify, whoever it is from this round, from this Phase 1, are going to move on with the 8 teams that were invited directly into Phase 2, including teams like LGD, and those teams, those 16 teams, will play in Phase 2. We'll talk more about that later as the action is about to break off. On to Miel, they're going to go. Do you really want to focus on Crystal Maiden? There's your Global Silence as well. There is a BKB, though. Luna could eclipse, but she doesn't have it yet. Lifestealer, good damage, but on the backlines, it's a massacre. It's just an inferno, an absolute fiery hell of doom, and that's going to be more kills for this Queen of Pain. Lifestealer trying to win this fight by himself. He's managed to get 2, but the Luna's bought back. He's going to get 3. That's basically a triple or an ultra for Bonjourlé, because he's the only one doing damage. He does have that Desolator. You see how much it hurts, but with that Rage and that Open Wounds not lasting forever, only being able to Open Wounds 1 hero. Call it a fantastic fight for TNC. And they force out a Luna buyback, which does absolutely nothing. I mean, really a fantastic fight, but they didn't kill Queen of Pain, and your Luna still is buyback. So at the end of the day, is it enough? Hard to say. I mean, that's what they need. They need more trade fights like that. That's how they can claw their way back into this game. Lone Druid getting closer to something like a Maelstrom. He lost his bear, though. He doesn't even have it right now. But he is just desperately poor at this point. When the enemy Rubik... Actually, when the enemy Crystal Maiden is 1k net worth behind you, you are really struggling, my friend. 47 CS. Ouch. Ouch. I mean, damn. That hurts. That is just brutal. I don't know if I've ever seen a Lone Druid get shut down quite this hard in competitive play. I mean, that's CS. Barely 2 per minute. In fact, less than that. I think, though. They're diving the mag mid. Rage is going to wear off. There is no RP. They can maybe look to go. They need to lift this Leicester, but actually the mag's going to drop. The Rubik gets disrupted. Oh, no. Cass may pay. Trying to save his team. He's got to go Scepter, but 2 hits. Almost going to be enough to kill him off. Now the Open Wounds. This looks to be a dead Rubik. Oh, boy. Is MSI throwing this game away? They had a massive lead. There's no reason they should be losing these fights, but they're just getting picked off one by one. And TNC are punishing their poor positioning. Still, the Queen of Pain lives. Still, the Luna lives. So the two biggest heroes in the team are still alive. And Sight Device is coming soon. Sicko yet to die this game. 12-0 and 11. But TNC is winning a lot of fights. They're even thinking about, oh, an additional smoke gank. Gonna head bottom. Looking for a tier 1. If they get in position under this tower, we'll see if there's actually a fight attempt. So Mag went for the drums first. Not a bad item, but he really needs the BKB now. That Global Silence could become a factor as this game progresses. That's 4 seconds where you're not able to do anything. You can't RP. He has no way out of it, so he needs something like a BKB to be able to dispel that Global Silence. I assume that's what he's going for now. It would be the logical choice. Luna TP's in bottom, has the Mantis Tile recipe, doesn't have the Mantis Tile. That's an important item for her, just so that she can remove Open Wounds, which is the primary way she's going to die. Sight Device up on the Queen of Pain. It's going to blink, has a haste, could look... Is there another rune for her to get? Nope, so she may have to go back to base first. Meanwhile, they are grouping up bottom. The TNC Gaming going to back it off. There's still some fight left in this dog. Four heroes grouped up. The supports are fat. Once Crystal Maiden gets a 4-staff, once this Rubik gets 1, Lifestealer is going to have such a hard time finding kills in the fights, because TNC doesn't have anyone to build a Diffusal Blade, so they cannot purge off that Ethereal form, and that's basically your full rage. 4 seconds where you're not doing anything out of 6, plus it probably takes them a second or 2 just to get in range, and of course they have RP on top of that, so Ghost Scepter's 4 stats, when it's only the Lifestealer who's hitting hard, that's what you need. That's absolutely what MSI should be building. It's what we see from them, so a smart choice from them. The Maelstrom just about coming out on the Lone Druid. Sorry to those of you who are experiencing lag. I'll try to look into it after this game. Again, we're still working with Twitch to resolve those lag issues. They have their engineers investigating it. They're going to try and help us out. Trying to figure out exactly where the issue lies. It's not with our connection because we're fine doing other applications, but it's something basically between our connection to Twitch. Between our ISP and Twitch. That's where the issue is. So, do apologize for that. We will continue to work on resolving it. In the meantime, there's not a whole lot I can do right now. It's really up to Verizon and it's up to Twitch to try and sort that out. But we'll continue doing what we can in the meantime. So I do apologize for the lag, but hopefully it'll resolve itself and stabilize a bit now. On the top lane, there's a group up from MSI looking to push this tower. They're going to get a nice aggressive ward up. Between these two wards, there's really very little way for TNC to get the jump on them unless they smoke, which they've done so. They're heading top, but it's going to be potentially a bit late. Queen of Pain sitting in the front lines, has the BKB on the site device. Very hard to kill. There's just really no way to do it. If you silence her, she's just going to BKB. I suppose if she blows her BKB, then the global comes out. Maybe you can bring her down. But if she plays it properly, she should really never die. She's going to spot a Jakiro, but really wants to use that site device on the lifestealer, who's popped Rage. This is an opening. Rage is down. This is going to be TNC fighting without it if Sicko looks to go here, but he's not going just yet. Going to play it safe. He's going to back off. Luna, Manta style up. Uh-oh. That lifestealer running up the hill into an eclipse, but only the bear and the lifestealer there, which means basically nobody being affected. The global's been popped. That was an RP just on the bear. Didn't even catch that lifestealer, who now gets hexed, but I don't know if they can burst him down. They're not focusing the lifestealer. Now the Queen of Pain flies out. Okay, now they're focusing the lifestealer. That's 3 heroes dead. And now High on the run. He doesn't have damage. He's going to fall here. Actually, Shadow Strike on the bear, so misclicks from MSI. But in the end, holy shit indeed. Sicko playing like a boss. Recruit this man, MSI. You better recruit him. He's sitting at 14-0 and 13, basically carrying this game by himself. I mean, MSI has played well, but this guy has played absolutely sensational Dota.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
You have my gratitude.
They're pushing, looking to break the base now. MSI sitting on the front lines. There's your Blink Skewer, catches out the silencer. And down he will go again. Just basically a walking range creep once that global's on cooldown. Not really a useful hero in multiple clashes simultaneously. Such a situational pick. I love that teams are experimenting with him, but his win rate has to be abysmal. I have not seen Silence actually win a game yet. Just a hero that struggles to find his place in the scene. If the global's too good, then the hero's broken. If the cooldown's too low, the hero's broken. But if it's not good enough, then the hero does seem, well, potentially worthless in a lot of games. They get the Rex top. Pretty easy stuff for MSI. Cruising to victory at this point. Sitting at about a 20k gold lead, a 20k experience lead. Just a beatdown. I mean, really. 14-0 and 14. And for those who are saying Verizon's my problem, looking at you, Hayabusa 9x9. I had Verizon in Philadelphia for a full year, never once had a single issue. So it's definitely not Verizon in general. It is a specific issue with our current location and our routing from here to Twitch TV. I had them for a year. I cast the G-1 League, I cast the G League, I cast the BTS World Tour, I cast the International 2 East Qualifiers. Every single one of those events did a lot of personal streaming. The Dota show never had a problem. So, while I appreciate your desire to try and help, it is definitely not Verizon as a general rule that is the issue. Fios has been nothing but stable for me at my past location. And hopefully we'll get it to that point here, but it may take a little time to sort out. So, thank you for bearing with us while we do that. Meanwhile, MSI has pretty much everything they need to break the base. They could wait for this butterfly on the Luna, but really they don't need to. All they need to do is basically just catch TNC out of position, get that second lane of racks, and with that, they'll have the full map control. Now the Luna comes in, Lucent Beam to start on high. They have the Blink RP, not going to go just yet. The Lone Druid finally has his Maelstrom out, but just so poor. I tremble to check his creep stats again. 76 at 31 minutes in. Really been neutered this game. lurking on the high ground, thinking about going, but not committing yet. Just keeping the lanes pushed in for MSI. Basically just looking to siege this one out. Slowly but surely accrue their next set of items. A berth in the G1 League is a huge thing. I mean, I know for MSI, they want this really badly. They were talking earlier to Tuskatria, the admin, and just saying how much they wanted to be at the G1 League, how much they wanted to practice against the top Chinese team. It's really a dream for a lot of the Pinoy teams, a lot of the Southeast Asian teams, to get to practice against the best. So, an opportunity they don't want to squander. That's why they're playing it so incredibly safe. Because the G1 League, it's not even about the prize money for a lot of these teams, although obviously $53,000 in prizes, or $56,000, I forget which, is a sensational amount of money. But it's more so about the opportunity to improve as a team and make your case for the International 3. I mean, it would be a dream come true for any of them to make it into the round of the Phase 2, Phase 3. It's going to be tough, though. There's some stiff competition there. But if anyone from the Philippines can do it in Dota 2, I do think it's MSI TNC. I'm not sure about their new roster overall. Here comes the new initiation, though. On the Queen of Pain, open wounds, but that's down the drain now. Not available for this fight. Could look to pop the silencer. They could just burst him instantly with the Hex. There's your Hex. Queen of Pain ult is here. Goes the Shadow Strike, and she's going to drop. No, wow. What an RP. Catches out 3. Luna illusions are here. No Butterfly even needed. Bonjour Lay is going to be able to kill up that Luna, but she's got Aegis. She's coming back. Queen of Pain delivers the smackdown with the ult, and now the Luna's back in business. GG from Bonjour Lay. Defeated his old captain Cast. Shows him. He says, "Who's your daddy?" That's right. I still am. Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh no. Now comes the ping complaints. I imagine that TNC potentially having some worse ping this game. Nope, actually everybody just having horrible ping. Normally the Pinoy teams are a little bit better. It's like 180 to 220 or so, but not their day for the Singapore server connections. The infrastructure in the Philippines just not quite what it is in Europe, or even in countries like Singapore and Malaysia. 3 lanes of Rex. This is going to be the end of the road for TNC Gaming. It is single elimination. It is best out of 1. So MSI will advance. They will keep the dream alive. The dream of moving on to Phase 2 and potentially even Phase 3. It's a long road. It's a tough road. Who knows if they can do it? But as long as you have faith, you may persevere. Someday you may get there. Blinken with the Ghost Scepter catches 2, pushes them back out of the fountain. Some additional kills to be claimed. TNC, typical Pinoy GG timing. Call the GG, fight it out. Now the disconnects start to come, but not until a thorough thrashing. It reminds me of a boxing match where one guy, like Pinoy Dota, every game is basically a boxing match where one guy just gets punched in the mouth like 50 times, but keeps on getting up, keeps on fighting, accepting additional blows to the face until finally his face is basically caved in and he can't even stand anymore. That's how it feels with Pinoy Dota, because the fountain campaign is always prolonged. This, one of the shorter editions. With that, MSI gonna look to end the game here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
On to Tushy, they're gonna go. Nice glaive bounces. A few more kills. High to drop. Easy kills to be claimed. And now a skewer out of the fountain from Magnus. That'll be it, guys. A celebratory RP. It's a wrap. MSI are moving on. TNC Gaming are going home. Our old namesake. They just set their old house on fire. And now they're moving into that new palace. Or at least that's what they hope. Stay tuned, guys. A lot more G1 League action coming up. I'm going to try restarting the stream. Maybe choosing a different ingest server and see if that'll help you all. So be sure to refresh your streams. But for now, that wraps it up for this game. More G1 League action coming up after this. I'll see you on the other side.